the house. The one they talking about, word of mouth. The boxing playhouse, without a doubt. All the latest and greatest boxing news, that's what it's all about.
Welcome, this is Sakura A, and I'm with Emilio Santana. This is Boxing Playhouse, baby, and this is After Dark. This is a special edition, though. You know why?
Why?
Because we're in Vegas, and because this is the Davis versus Garcia fight week, baby. Who you got? That's how you know we got to talk about that first. And then I've got a special guest to come in to give us his predictions as well.
Cool.
Yes. Go ahead. Who you got?
Oh, man, I'm just enjoying all the electricity and the excitement out here in Vegas, man. If you've never been to Fight Week in Vegas, you got to get here and check it out. But, man, Tank. If I had to choose, I had to go with Tank, man. You know, I like what I see in young Ryan Garcia. You know, I think he's going to put up a good fight. But, you know, I think Tank going to, you know, later in the later rounds, I could see Tank maybe closing in. He might be trailing on the scorecards, but I can see Tank, you know, later rounds probably breaking Ryan down and possibly stopping young Ryan Garcia.
Oh, well, that's a really positive outcome you have there. Oh, planned out all need an actual winner, all this stuff. But for me, I'm feeling like it might be a draw.
Draw.
What's better than a draw for a big mega fight? Because then you get to have a rematch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And make more money. So
Definitely.
I feel like it might be a draw, but not just because I'm, you know, business aspects, but because, you know, this is a type of matchup that we've been waiting to see for 2 years now. And it's a matchup in which, you know, okay, Tank does got the power. Nobody can deny that. Yes, but speed does kill power. So that is what Ryan offers. So everybody's going to be tuned in just to see like which is going to come on top, speed or power. And also, people aren't talking about Ryan's power. I mean, he do got a little pop in his step too.
And he got that speed with it. You know,
yes.
He's quick.
You can't hardly see. You know, those are the punches that really affect you, is the ones that you can't brace for or you don't roll with your head with. You know what I'm saying?
He's definitely sneaky. Ryan got a nice, quick, sneaky hook. I've seen him land on a few opponents. So Tank definitely going to have to look out for that sneaky hook that Ryan got. He's fast and he's powerful. I think we're going to see some fireworks in this fight Saturday night.
I predict that is a good prediction. Now, that's the best prediction you've had. We're going to see some kind of fireworks. Somebody going to get dropped at least. They might not get knocked completely out, but I see a drop throughout, you know, in the fight.
Somebody old must go, too.
Somebody old really does definitely have to go. But I am interested in what our resident Latin America host has to say. Florida Boxing Hall of Famer, baseball Golden Glover, and boxing Golden Glover. He has two in two different sports.
Wow.
Who does that? Hey, Danny Santiago. That's who does that.
All the way from Colombia.
What's up, Colombian?
Damn, I like that, Danny.
Boxing Playhouse.
Always representing Boxing Playhouse. I keep you, Latin America Boxing Playhouse. No, yeah.
Thank you.
I was
fortunate. Break it down.
I was fortunate to win 2 Golden Gloves because I had one in one hand and the other hand was kind of cold. So they gifted me the other one to warm it up. But you know, I was fortunate to do that. No, seriously, yeah. No, I was fortunate to.
Everybody ain't able. You know, like me.
I was just at the right place at the right time, you know. So I was lucky. I was fortunate. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm super amped about the fight this weekend. Tank, Garcia. You know, if they walk the walk like they talking the talk, we as fans are the winners. There's no losers here. We as fans are the winners. A draw or close fight would be good because then the rematch would be better. You know, it's all about money. And they say the draw is what comes out of the draw, the money. That's what the draw is at. That's where it's going to be at, you know?
Danny, for Brian Garcia to win, what kind of fight must he fight to beat Tank?
Well, I mean, I like his speed. He has a beautiful left hook. That was what I was known for, you know? But let me say this. In this fight, I think that you know, they're both in the prime of their careers. I think it couldn't happen at a better time. You know, when you think about the Spence and all that stuff that's going on with those guys and Crawford deal, you know, we hope their time doesn't pass them. These kids are, you know, you got to give their kudos. They're stepping up to the plate. They're taking a challenge. They're not, you know, there's a saying that once you're afraid to lose, you already lost. You know, you got to go and put that W, you got to put that 0 on the line to show your greatness. And I commend them. I take my hat off to them, you know, and they're the real deal. They're making it happen. So yeah, unfortunately somebody's got to go. But if Ryan Garcia goes out there and look, Tank, people don't give him enough credit. Not only does he have good pop, he has good speed. He has great boxing acumen, and he likes to lure people in. He likes to catch you off guard. He likes you to get your confidence so he can get you coming in and catch you with a good shot. That's why I think that Tank could take him in deep waters. To me, he's fought the better competition, but Ryan Garcia can't make a mistake. Whereas I think Tank can get away with a few little things. You know?
There you go. He just lost. You just said he lost. Who?
I'm a Tank guy. I'm a Tank guy.
12 rounds of fighting. I mean, you got 3-minute rounds. Danny, somebody's going to make a mistake. If you're saying Ryan can't make a mistake, we already know that is going to happen at some point in that fight.
Well, you know, real fighters, they get up for the challenge and they go and they take the risk, you know. So I think there's two real fighters. They don't give Ryan Garcia enough credit because, you know, he's a YouTube guy and he's not a real YouTube guy. This kid has been bred into this, just like Tank. They came up in the amateurs together. They're not strangers. They know who they are. You know, I think it's going to make for an exciting fight. And I think there are no losers because the rematch will be that much greater.
You're absolutely right. They really are going to both be winners, but one of them gets that bragging right of saying I'm the best, which I haven't seen in quite a long time in boxing. It seems like we're more interested in focusing on the coins, which the coins is important. Don't get me wrong, but who's about the legacy? Who's about I want to be the best and I want to fight the best? This is something that I really enjoy about this particular matchup. They both are saying this is not as much for a title. This is for I think I'm better than you. Bragging rights. Right. Yeah. And also this is a great time for us to introduce a boxer that I've had the pleasure and privilege of meeting, him and his father and son team. And they have that mentality. You know why I know that? Danny, their moniker is Icon. Okay. Icon. That means they want to have a legacy. They want to be iconic. And because of that, we have a new generation coming up through the ranks as prospects that we can look forward to viewing and seeing great matchups. Not 4 or 5 years, you know, past their prime, but like when it's important, when it means something. So let's go ahead and get him and his father on here so they can tell us their predictions and how and why they wanted to come with that type of mentality to be iconic. Ladies and gentlemen, you ready?
I'm ready.
You sure?
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. I got Isaiah, Icon, Riquelmy, and his father. Let's get him up here. Mr. Rick, what's going on?
How you guys doing?
Hey, how you doing? We chilling, y'all. Y'all know we out in Vegas, but we chilling.
Yeah. We got to see this. You know, we got to see this this fight. I want to know your predictions first of all. Isaiah, I think you probably are a Tank fan, but you just let me know.
You know, you got a favorite Tank in this position. You know, the opposition that he's fought. You know, he's proven himself. He's proven he got a jaw. He's proven he got some speed and some power to him. You know, Ryan Garcia also proved, you know, against some opponent, but just not to the caliber. You know, on paper, Tank is supposed to win. But styles make fights. You know, fight of the fight, regardless. So who knows? The one punch can change the game instantly. You know, just depending on, you know, the circumstance and how people decide to fight their fight. You know, I guess it's the first to assert their dominance is the person who's gonna win.
You know what? You made a great point there about their records because I was looking at these two guys and their records, and it is very odd to me that they both are lightweights, but they only share like one common opponent. I mean, that just shows you how in depth that particular lightweight division is or was. I mean, I know Ryan has moved up to 140 at this point, but doing the catch weight with Davis for this one. But you know, it's not like he's got a lot of fights at junior welterweight. So most of those fights on his record are from the lightweight division, and yet and still we still only have Francesca as the common denominator between the two.
I like having Isaiah on here because he's actually in that weight class, the lightweight division.
That's what I was going to get to.
Yeah, and he's kind of tall and rangy like Ryan Garcia. I wanted to know, what do we feel that Ryan needs to do to beat Tank? Isaiah, what do you think he needs to do, and what type of fight does Ryan need to do to beat Tank?
Truthfully, I just feel like he just needs to fight his fight. You know, fortunately and unfortunately, if he sharpened his tools enough, you know, he one realizes that he's gonna get hit. Taking risks is a part of the game, you know. So the fact that what matters is how he reacts off of getting hit. That's what the big question is. That's what everybody's question is how is he gonna react after taking a Tank left hand or a Tank hook or a Tank uppercut. You know, he Tank is powerful in both hands. It isn't just the hook. You know what I mean? So the fact that Ryan Garcia knows he has a fast lightning check hook. You know, I feel like he needs to use his eyes and really critique like the timing of Tank. Once he finds the timing of Tank, then I feel like his check hook would be at most effective. That's
deep. That's deep. I mean, you could be a strategist.
Do y'all feel?
You should hire him.
Right.
Yes.
Do y'all feel Tank has a good chin? I don't know if we ever seen him really tested with the chin.
What's been tested against Isaac Cruz? Isaac Cruz tested him to the body, to the head. Isaac Cruz tested his boxing skills. Kid got skills. You know, It's just like I said, who's gonna assert their dominance before the other? If somebody wants to take too long, and I mean, Tank got power after 7. You know, he proved that against Mario Barrios. You know, Barrios is a hard fight, and then Barrios made a mistake, and then what happened to Barrios?
Right. I mean, I feel
Ryan Garcia got dropped already.
True.
Yeah. But we gotta see if Tank could get the same opening Luke Campbell did.
Yeah,
Luke Campbell.
Respectfully.
See, you know all the players at hand, and this is why this is important, because I feel like you could probably tell us like who you feel is the real deal number 1 in that division. I mean, we know that Devin Haney is holding the titles right now, but you got Lomachenko and Devin Haney in a fight next. You also had Devin Haney that just outed Kambosos over in Australia to grab those straps. So, like, we got a lot of different players. Shakur is now in the division, but hasn't been able to really prove himself against someone that's in the top 5 of that division. So you tell me, like, who do you consider besides yourself? Now, so we know you're gonna say me.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you better say me, or you be in trouble with me.
I guess. I mean, you can't take it away from Shakur. Shakur has all the belts. Nobody else is having any other belt. Ryan Garcia, this Tank and Ryan Garcia fight isn't for no belt. It's for kudo points. You know what I mean? Respectfully, Lomachenko is taking the big step to go ahead and fight Devin Haney. Shakur is another top dog. He's number 1 on Boxer. So it's kind of like, there is no number 1 spot right now. There's so many different styles of fighting in the 135. There's so many different styles of dog. There's just dog in 135. Like I said, we just got the Devin Haney's, the Shakur Stevenson's now. After Shakur just performed like how he did to prove everybody that he got power at 135, you got to realize the man is still growing. He still got his man strength coming in. He was really young, doing stuff at 130. You know what I mean? And he's just showing out at 135 now, and now he just got to be up there with the rest of the big dogs. Before he was at the smaller big dogs. Now it's starting to get to where the money's at, to where where the fame is, where the legacy is.
Yeah.
And I like what Isaiah's saying. Isaiah, how old are you? 19?
Yes, sir. I'm turning 19 in
July. This guy he's a student of the game. I know he watches a lot of old film.
Yeah.
And I love that in a young fighter, man. I hate when young fighters act like they don't look at boxing tape or tapes of the past. And I know you and your dad look at a lot of boxing, man. So I appreciate that. And you and your dad.
Hey, iconic. They icon.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
That's what an icon does.
Yes, the name speaks for itself. Now,
And his father's, he's got a great boxing acumen. Great guy. Got to meet him. Super dude.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. That's what I was getting to, because he's been awfully quiet right now. And he ain't telling us who his prediction is. And I know you don't think that Secor A is going to let you slide like that. I need to know these predictions.
Let us know.
I mean, you know, Isaiah made a lot of good points in this fight. I personally think styles make fights. Ryan Garcia has attributes that become very difficult for Tank Davis. You know, the height, the reach, the jab speed. I think personally, he needs to be able to control him at a distance. He needs not to commit to Tank. If he commits to try to take Tank out, that's where he's going to commit the mistake. I personally think that if he keeps him at that jab distance, doesn't commit, counters Tank when he moves left and right and steals the rounds into the later rounds, he has a better chance of winning the fight. But if at any point he feels that he needs to go ahead and feel, I need to dominate, I need to look macho-ish, I need to do whatever it is, that's Tank's homeland right there. That's where people get slept. That's where people get caught and don't see those.
That's Rolly. You just described Rolly, how their fight went down. He went after him. He got comfortable, and you know he laid him out.
You know, it's you know, Rolly Kane had an aggressive, you know, style of fighting. You know, he had something he wanted to prove. I personally think right now Ryan needs to fight this fight strategically and intelligently, and worry about all the kudos later and just get the W. And
he can't play checkers. He got to be chess. He got to play chess with him. He's got to be very strategic.
He got to be strategic. Hopefully his corners see certain things. I mean, Tank has to get in close in order to become effective. He does have some exquisite speed and movement to get in, but so does Ryan. So I'm hoping that in Ryan's camp, they kind of gave him some, you know, feet mobility, because if you see Ryan's real fast with his hands, but he's kind of flat-footed in certain cases in the fight. And I personally believe that Tank, at the right distance, can capitalize on something like that before Ryan goes back, tries to move back, pulls his head back, something of sorts. And we've all seen Tank do this to not one, not two, but probably 90% of his opponents from the beginning to now.
Yeah.
And that's not kind of the same thing we can say about Ryan. And Isaiah made a good point. Tank's been able to do this with some higher quality opponents in the ring than what Ryan Garcia has done it to in his career. So I personally think, on a non-bias, I think it's a 50-50 fight. Depends on who implements their game plan first and sticks through it throughout the later rounds.
I agree with you when you say about Ryan Garcia. Sometimes he has incredible hand speed, but it's like his feet get stuck in mud.
Absolutely.
It's a weird thing that he does. I'm a fan of both of them. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I like Tank a little bit more. I like his grit and all that. And I think that Tank has a little bit more grit than Ryan Garcia. But his hands, Ryan Garcia's hand speed is immeasurable. It's incredible. But when he doesn't, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's like he sits there and gets stuck in mud, or he admires his work, but he stays in one place too long.
I agree with you in that sense. And that is the X factor that a lot of people are not talking about. Everybody's talking about skill. Everybody's talking about attributes. Everybody's talking about this, that, and third. But there's some things that you can't teach fighters. They're born with it. It's that grit, that do or die, that I have nothing to lose mentality. You know, when it really gets ugly, when it really got to get going. We've seen Tank pull that off many times before.
Yeah.
Feeling that, hey, I'm losing this fight. And all of a sudden, it's a different Tank that comes out, and you basically got to hit this man with a Mack truck in order to try to stop him. He's not going to stop. And if Ryan can't earn Tank's respect with his power early in the fight, I'm going to tell you right now, Tank's going to walk him down incredibly and do what he does. So hopefully Ryan can hurt or make Tank respect his power in the early rounds, Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna tell you one thing: it's gonna be a really uncomfortable night for Ryan Garcia.
I mean, I just feel like Tank is got a goat-like chin so far in his career. Has he fought someone with the type of power he has? No, but I still believe that that whole advantage of having that street in you and that you know that fire is something that's going to help him in this particular fight.
Yeah, you can't teach that. That's not something you can teach. That's a fighter's inner makeup. You can't teach that in the gym. You can't teach that nowhere. And let's be real, you know, Tank's mindset has gotten a lot better. But if you remember Tank coming up, Tank was that gritty guy. He was that dude. You know, he just was that person. So
he actually told me
it's going to be a really good fight.
He's got that government cheese attitude.
Hey, give me some.
I
love toast. I love that cheese toast. That government cheese.
He got the government cheese hunger, and I don't think he's lost it yet. I think he's still got that grit.
Hey, we got a lot of people
Alex Ayala. He says,
and they became really healthy, successful individuals. So call it what you want. A lot of good people came out of being that government cheese.
right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I like it.
All right, we got a comment from Alex Ayala, a comment or a prediction. Let me read it. He says, I agree. If Ryan goes right at Tank, he will open himself up for power shots. I believe if Ryan boxes and uses his reach and speed, he will give Tank problems. He can't be over aggressive with Tank. We will see if Tank can take a punch, and the same for Ryan. We will see if he really has that dog in him. I got Tank by KO in the later rounds. Right, Alex?
All right, Alex, I like what you were saying there. I mean, I gotta agree. And then he also said he's laughing at government cheese.
Government cheese, government.
Yeah, you know about it. Alex, don't play me. You know it's good. Okay. And cheese so good that the government was like, wait a minute, they actually like this stuff. We can't have it no more.
You gotta drop the R, right?
Government cheese. Okay, Danny. Now you are going to get our Latin audience involved right now, and Mr. Rick here, team Rick Riquelmy, he's going to help with the translations for Icon, so that they, Colombians and a couple of other of these Latin American countries, like Puerto Rico. Yeah, like a few of these countries can understand what is really going on with Icon and what fight he has coming up.
Absolutely.
Okay. Icon, vamos a hablar. First of all, do you speak Spanish?
Nah.
So you were like me a couple years ago, but okay, there's hope for you. But I did it at the age of 43. But I know your dad speaks Spanish. Am I correct?
That is true. Eso es verdad.
Oh, ¿cómo te encuentras? ¿Cómo el entrenamiento? ¿Cómo lo viste en la primera pelea?
El entrenamiento va bien. Estamos trabajando bien, comiendo bien, trabajando duro en el gimnasio, los guanteos, siguiendo, mejorando el estilo, apretando las cosas, filoteando las cosas para que, bueno, el día de la pelea se lo haga fácil.
Okay, so what he said was that, I asked him how the training was going, and he said that training is going very well, sparring is going very well. He's getting very prepared for his next upcoming fight, so that way his next fight, the hard work's being done in the gym, so that way the fight is easier. He has an easy day at the fight, the day of the fights. I like to ask your son in English and then in Spanish, or he can answer in English and then you could answer in Spanish. ¿Qué es todos los boxeadores? Yo fui uno que el ídolo mío era Mike Tyson, ¿cierto? Y haciendo boxeador tu hijo, ¿qué boxeador admira a él? ¿Cuál fue el boxeador? Dice, uy, ese boxeador me gusta mucho. ¿Cuál fue el favorito boxeador de él?
So he's asking you, he goes, when he was coming up, his idol was Mike Tyson. So he's asking you, who is, to you, what is your favorite fighter? What fighter you looked up to and admired, as you decided to turn into this boxing career?
I wouldn't really say I have a specific fighter that I cherish and I've studied. I've had an era that I've also studied before, the Sugar Ray Leonard era. And it's a different game now, so I'm studying the new game. So you know, you gotta study what you're currently in. So I study a lot of like I said, even my opposition. You know, Devin Haney. I study stuff from Lomachenko. I've learned stuff from Shakur. You know, so I don't have a favorite fighter that I've transitioned in, or you know, I've also looked at, you know, strategies from Mayweather. You know, just different eras. I just contain a lot of information from different fighters from different eras.
I love
Bueno,
that
lo que
Sugar
me
Ray
dijo-
Leonard era, Danny.
I'm sorry.
I love what he said. That Sugar Ray Leonard, that era, that was my favorite era right there. So he looking at the best, some of the best guys right there.
I'm not going to answer his question, but you know, a lot of these guys are still trying to get into the new stuff, what's going on the new. But the old timers, man, they did it. They were great at it, and there hasn't been another era since those times. You know, when you talk about Sugar Ray, like what he just said, and all those people like that, they came out a different era. But I want to answer the people in Spanish what he just said. Él dice que no tenía ni un boxeador específico que era un ídolo de él ni nada de eso. Él admira muchos boxeadores. Él coge un poco de este boxeador, de Sugar Ray, de Devin Haney, de varios boxeadores, de Floyd Mayweather, y él trata a coger un poco del estilo de ellos o la estrategia de ellos para implementarlo el estilo de él para que funcione en la carrera de él. Él en verdad no tiene un ídolo, no hay alguien que admira tanto. Él admira a todos los boxeadores, pero lo que quiere hacer es a estudiar los mejores boxeadores y a implementar lo que ella ha hecho en su carrera y en la carrera de él. Did I answer that correct, Pops?
Yes, you did.
All right, good.
Okay, but hold on one second. You need to learn Spanish.
I know.
I mean, because this right here is really
I
sexy.
know. I got to learn it.
Yes.
Gotta learn it.
One of y'all gonna have to take him for a few lessons.
Isaiah, can I tell you this? I'm a New Yorican, you know, and I didn't grow up speaking Spanish, unfortunately, you know.
Okay.
I got married and moved to a foreign country. I live in Colombia. I'm currently in Colombia, and I learned how to speak Spanish here. And I learned, and I ain't gonna say I didn't know anything. I knew a little bit. I knew a lot of the curse words. I'm sure you know. But I learned how to, you know, represent and conversate and do certain things. And if I could do it after the age of 43, you could do it at your age. You know what I mean? There's hope. And I will tell you this: there's a guy named Duta Zavala Sr. Who used to run Telemundo Boxing. He used to tell me all this time. He said, "Son, you're a decent little fighter. You know, you're very charismatic, but you're closing an avenue of your life by not learning to speak Spanish. And once you dominate Spanish and English, you will conquer the world, and you'll be more marketable. You'll be more representative. You'll represent two different cultures. And the most in boxing, and this is my advice to you as a young boxer, Latin people love blood. Latin people are one of the biggest demographics for boxing fans. It's Latin people, African-American people, and then it goes down from there. So, you know, you as a young man, my advice to you, and I don't have anything to do with your career, market yourself, be smart, and expand your demographics. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to what you could deposit in that bank account. And I learned that from Floyd Mayweather.
What's his name? What's his name? Canelo and Marquez kind of did the same thing. They learned English, like the opposite of what you did, Danny.
Yeah, you have to have it. You have to have it, you know, because if you don't, you're cutting out. Like, listen, this kid, he's a good-looking kid. He's in a hot weight class, and I don't think he's going to finish off in that weight class because he's still growing. I'm sure his dad could agree to that.
Right.
Can you imagine the marketability? He's a good-looking kid. He speaks eloquently. He can fight because I've seen him fight. He's a total package. So then why not just put a little bit more on there? You know, just put a little bit more on there, just finish it up. Just a little bit of icing on the cake, you know?
Right.
Hey, I'm sure Icon is like, why didn't y'all just speak Spanish to me when I was a baby? Dang.
It's one of those things. It's one of those, you know, so they gravitate to different states. It's a different, different surroundings, different environment.
Yes.
Unlike me, I had no choice. My mom and my dad spoke no English. There was no ways around it.
Right.
A lot of my aunties and uncles, they spoke no English. There was no way around it. So throughout the house, and my parents themselves was like, yeah, we ain't speaking English. So even as time went on, as I get older, going to school, so that's actually how
You learn
I
English.
myself was able to dominate both languages because since birth we grew up in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same for them because we speak Spanish and English, and it's a mixture of Spanglish
Yeah.
doing certain things. So, but
Which
I
there's
got
nothing wrong with
say,
Spanglish. I like Spanglish.
Can I? So
It works for our show.
so you're fighting in Brandon this Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
It's going to be how many rounds?
It's scheduled for 4 rounds.
So este sábado, el señor Isaiah Icon va a pelear en Brandon, Florida. Are they going to stream it, televise it, or anything like that?
they're supposed to be providing some type of link for streaming. I'm not sure how and what the promoter has in place right now, but that's just what I heard through the grapevine. That's probably something that we'll find out the day of the weigh-ins.
So, le pregunté si van a tirar la pelea por las redes, por un streaming, por un canal. El profesor, el papá de él, dice que supuestamente van a tener una plataforma que van a enseñar la pelea en estos días, van a saber. Y si yo quiera, lo vamos a subir por Boxing Playhouse para que la gente lo sepa, para que la apoyen, porque estos muchachos tienen un futuro bien grande y necesitamos todo el apoyo para Isaiah, para que todo el mundo sepa quién es él.
Thank you, Danny. We appreciate that. All that from Colombia.
I want to say what I said. I just told the general public here that Isaiah, his dad, they're doing a great job. He's very talented. In the next couple of days, I asked him if there was going to be any way to see the fight. He says that they're going to probably have a way to stream it or show it on some kind of platform that we would hopefully inform them here on Boxing Playhouse or on one of the Facebook channels or everything like that, so people can watch him, support him, and help, give him some support so people can see that he has a following, that he's a great talent, and his future is very bright. But we need people to support him, and the only way to support him is to get eyes on the TV and butts in the seats. So that we're going to get him the information, get our fans, our general public, the advertisement or the link so they can watch him and see his skills and see what it is and why he's on this interview today. He's a very talented kid. They need to support him.
We need to support our local boxers, and we need to support the ones that actually are doing it for more than just money. Because I believe, like, when you are doing it for other reasons besides that money will come. Like, it's not like, oh, let me choose this lane of legacy and over money or vice versa. It's like, no, it can come together, because the more action-packed fight and the more better matchups, the more money that is actually generated. I don't know why some boxers can't get that. So with that being said, Isaiah, I want you to, let our audience know and these fans know, like, exactly how you got into boxing and what drives you in this sport. Where do you want to end up? Like, what's your goal?
I mean, so how I got into boxing was at the age of 5, just one day, just wanted to try the sport. Just told my dad I wanted to box. So that put me in a boxing, had my first sparring session, seeing that I had no quit in me and seeing that this was meant, and ever since then, the rest is history. We just stayed by each other the whole time. Like I said before, my goal is to make a legacy. My goal isn't only to chase the belts. That's cliche. You wouldn't be in the sport fighting competitively to not be a number one. I want to leave a mark. I want to change the game. I want to make the game better. You know what I mean? I want people to really understand what it is to be in the game, the sacrifice it takes to be in the game. It's not all peaches and cream behind the curtains. It's a lot more to that, and I want that message to be known through me. You know what I mean? I also want to break the barrier of father son combo. It isn't always toxic. It could also be the key to your success in your career. You know what I mean? And like I said, I want the icon to be, you know, to be remembered as that. I want my era to be known.
Yeah, see, I love that mentality. That's what's up. And that's how it should be. And Daddy, you actually are right. He is kind of handsome. So this is gonna work out great for him as soon as he pick up a little bit more of his daddy's, Spanish legacy there.
I had a
Go
question.
ahead.
This is for Rick. Rick, Isaiah, I know he's been staying busy. I love that. How many more times this year you think Isaiah might fight?
It all depends. We do have this event. Have the Hall of Fame down in
Woo!
Fame.
We'll definitely be there for that.
That's definitely a show that we will be at, guaranteed, hands down. After the Hall of Fame, we'll see what we're going to do. Potentially, maybe one more time this year. Everything's going according to plan. We're moving the fights according to plan. We're right at where we want to be at the time from his point of debut till this year's going to be out. And then at that point, we're going to make, as a team, we'll sit together and see which path we want to take. Definitely not going to do the 1 a year type of MO that a lot of these fighters are doing nowadays for some reason. But we are, like he says, we're here for a purpose. He's here to become an icon in the game, to show the people that boxing is not dead like people say it is. There are still people in this game that admire the way it used to be, the way fighters' mentalities were.
Right.
Not afraid of the O's and everything else. So we discuss it, we sit, we see what the next best thing is for him in his career. And whatever milestone is in the way that we have to go through, then it is going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Guess who's in the house? It's your favorite. It's Auntie. It's Auntie. She's in the house.
Auntie's in the house.
Yes, I love me some Auntie Julie. She says, "Hey y'all, I'm late, but Auntie's on here." You mean business with Icon, okay?
Okay.
She love her nephew now. Okay, Curtis, he says, "Let's go 100." And then Julie, Auntie says, "I love y'all." We definitely love you too.
Alex, we're having a good time out here in Vegas. I see you.
Oh yeah, Alex
we're having
did
a good
ask
time,
that.
man.
And then he also said that, Danny, you had some great advice. And that he's also, helped sell tickets and different things for his son. But he's saying that Ryan Garcia is great at marketing himself, and that's how he's able to place himself in that position of getting the fight that he wanted.
And it makes sense, but understand something on the reality is you can only market yourself to a certain point.
Right.
Eventually, you got to step in that ring.
Back it up, baby. Back it up. You got to be able to back it up, right?
So now
that was my next thing.
Go ahead, Dan.
God forbid something happens that it doesn't go your way. This is boxing. People love you today, they hate you tomorrow.
Yep. There you go.
The matter is that when you do this for yourself as a fighter. It's great to have fans.
Right.
They buy your tickets, absolutely. But it goes back to what we were discussing. You got the grit from what a person really fought from what it was, or is the fan base internet driven?
Right.
Hey, Rick, do you consider Isaiah a boxer puncher? You hear me, Rick?
I'm sorry?
I was asking, do you consider Isaiah more of a boxer puncher? How do you classify his style?
I consider my son to be a all-around fighter. We train for opponents. It's no surprise that styles make fights. So we train for all styles. So can he box? Absolutely. Can he take it to you? Absolutely. Can he walk you down? Absolutely. So whatever the opponent brings, we have enough skill set in the tank and still building on it to be able to adapt to any point at any given time, at anything in the fight, whether you're southpaw, right-handed, whether you're a come forward fighter, whether you want to box. So our training camp is based on educating intellect on everything that has to do with whoever you're going to fight. That's in the ring. Simple as that. The strongest guy doesn't always win the fight, but guaranteed the smartest man will.
Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. We thank you so much for being on the show today. Please go ahead and let us know where these tickets can be purchased. Do you have any tickets left? You personally?
We have a few left. They're going really, really quickly. Hit us up at his IG. What is it?
My Instagram is _OSOZAY. You can also look me up as Icon Team _Riquelmy. You can hit any of those Instagram pages up to go ahead and purchase tickets for the Saturday fight.
Same thing over on Facebook. Yeah, right on my Facebook page, Rick Riquelmy. Just look me up. We have all the links, all the numbers, Cash App, Zells, all of that for you guys to go ahead and purchase the tickets. It's going to be an excellent show, guaranteed. Great vibes, great people, great venue. I definitely wouldn't want to miss it.
Can I say some in Spanish?
Yes, sir.
Para la gente que quieren ver la pelea de Isaiah, que va a pelear en Brandon este sábado, si quieren mirarlo, a contactarlo por las redes, está por Instagram, por su nombre, Facebook igual, el Icon, para que lo apoyen, para que vean la pelea. Las taquillas se están vendiendo muy rápido. Compra tu taquilla, contáctale a Boxing PlayHouse, a Isaiah Icon en Instagram, en Facebook y todas esas cosas. Este muchacho es un boxeador que si tú quieres ver una gran pelea, un talento, por favor, si tú estás en la área de Fort Myers, Brandon, St. Petersburg y Tampa, vaya con un momento para ver la pelea de él porque es un talento que se merece el apoyo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Boxing Playhouse, for showing us much love since the beginning.
Oh, most definitely.
I want to thank everybody personally that supported us. I want to go ahead and send a shout out to TNK. Definitely much love for the promotion.
Jesus.
That's right.
He's doing his big things also. So at least from my end, I really want to show a lot of appreciation and love and support for you guys and everybody else who's supporting Isaiah Icon Riquelmy down this big, long, glorious boxing career of his that he's about to have.
Absolutely. We can't say how much we are like looking forward to seeing his career develop. Right. But I mean, don't forget the little people, okay? When you get up there and you're like, running out of limousines at Grand Arrivals at the MGM Grand, don't have me sitting out there for 3 hours standing up waiting just to get a little video of you now. Don't do it to me. Because I can't be up that long. I'm going to need a call for y'all to be like, yo, Boxing Playhouse, rock with us. Y'all gonna give them their media stuff. Don't play. Boxing Playhouse. There you go. BPH.
He's definitely gonna be a star. He got star quality all over him. So that's definitely gonna come.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and speaking of TNK Boxing, they are going to be for that June Boxing Hall of Fame show. That's June 30th is the fight night. And then the Hall of Fame will be that Saturday and Sunday for more events. So that whole weekend, which is also 4th of July weekend, is going to be fireworks.
Isaiah,
you better put on a big show.
Curtis said, I need some rounds. Curtis Edwards said, we need some rounds, y'all.
Yeah, Curtis ready to get in that ring so you can put that
Curtis?
work on him.
Who's Curtis?
You know Curtis. We've seen him fight several times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Curtis.
We can only give what they're willing to take.
Okay. Well, I mean, I know Riquelmy. Look, Isaiah got some power. So, I mean, people need to be they need to be alert. They need to be aware, okay? They might be sleeping on them now, but wait, they're going to be trying to go back. And I'm going to have 50 million views on this podcast alone, this episode, because they're going to be trying to figure out how they can beat him. And they're going to be like, you ain't give no information away, right?
None at all. None at all.
Alex Diaz said, let's go, y'all. Alex Diaz said, let's go.
Alex is ready.
Julie Santos said, love y'all.
Auntie.
Auntie.
We in the building, she said. She ready. And I hear that this event this Saturday is put on by Status Events. I mean, they're saying that they're like, it's gonna be like almost like a summertime type boxing event where you get the food and the drinks and the ring girls and like that whole boxing family type vibe. So I know it's gonna be amazing there as well. So guys, when you get this W, okay, because I know y'all gonna get the W. When you get this W, we're gonna want you to come back on the show and tell us how you did it. And I hate that we missed it this time, because that date that was for Status Events, we knew about the Davis fight before, so we went with that route. But definitely next fight, which will hopefully be in June. Well, you might fight one time in between June, maybe May, and like Columbia again or something, right?
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Can I invite both you guys to do like a Spanglish interview with me on my Wednesday shows?
Absolutely, at any time, then. I
would love that, and I'm going to keep my eye on Isaiah. I'm all about, my peoples, and I'm all about Florida. I love Florida. I'm a New York guy originally, but I lived in Florida for a long time. And I see a young man like this, man, and I want to make sure I keep my eye on him, because I really believe I'm not blowing smoke up nobody's tush here. I really think this kid's got the goods. I know Jesus is really high on him, and I respect Jesus' opinion. I've had the fortunate chance to meet you and have a conversation with you a few times. I think you're a great boxing mind. And I want to say this to Isaiah. As you start moving up, I didn't lose my first fight till I was 22-0. And right when I got about 14 or 15-0, I stopped listening. I stopped waking up in the morning like I used to, because I was sleeping in silk drawers and I thought I had it all. You know what I mean? and a boxer that sleeps in silk drawers ain't red
or the purple.
It's just a thing that I heard. I think I heard Bernard Hopkins say, but it's the truth. A boxer that sleeps in silk drawers, you get too comfortable, you stop being hungry. Mm-hmm. You start, I'll run later on, and I'll do this later. There's no tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Only today exists. But don't let anybody or anything or fame get in between the relationship that you have with your dad. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, I'll never forget this, man. I lost my first fight. And when I went in that corner, my corner guy wasn't there. But I know your father will never leave your side. So always have him there with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great advice.
Good advice.
For real. Yeah. Danny put it deep.
Yeah. Good words right there.
I didn't know it, man. And when I won, these people would not leave my side. Like I would go to the bathroom and they wait outside to make sure I had TP. You know what I'm saying? I lost that first fight. I went to the corner with my eye all swollen, and another boxing Hall of Famer, Rocky Torres, gave me my defeat, right? I'm not ashamed to say that. I take the good with the bad. But I will tell you this, man. I didn't realize how alone I was in this world until I went into that corner, and I went into the locker room, and I had to take a urine test, and I pissed pure blood. And I had no one to tell me that was normal or abnormal, because the person that worked my corner for 18 prior fights, because he was with me for my fourth fight, left my side, and his excuse was, I thought you wanted me to I wanted you to be around the fans. I didn't want to be around nobody. I just got my eye lumped up, and I got my first fight in 6 or 7 years. I didn't want to be around nobody. I wanted to be around the people that were supposed to be by my side. But one thing I know, you said that you want to break the myth. Listen, there was a successful father and son relationship, and his name is Felix Tito Trinidad. And I had I would say I met him. I thought he was a friend, but we didn't know each other that well. But I admired the relationship that he had with his father. And then people try to get in between them. Don't let nobody do that, man. Because as you start moving up, you're gonna see a lot of different people, a lot of different shades, a lot of different shady people coming around you. And the first thing you're gonna try to do is get in between the person that has your best interest in hand, and I would always be your dad.
Yes, sir.
That's Auntie. Well, Auntie has also made a funny comment here.
She said,
"Yeah, that's true."
For the boxer that sleeps with silk underwear, it's sticking to your leg.
Auntie is wrong.
Auntie something else, huh?
Oh, she is just like Roxy. Remember when they got together at the fight? Oh, one of my girlfriends and her, they born the same month too. They both cancers. I was like, this is too much. I got to get away from this industry.
Appreciate everybody. Alex, Julie, everybody commenting. Curtis Edwards.
Yep.
Alex.
You know, it's important. And one of the last things I want to share with you guys,
Okay.
Danny, sincerely, I appreciate that advice that you gave my son. Not too many fighters and people in the game will take that points to go ahead and speak on it. But for everybody who is listening, stream this where you want. Me and my son will always be Team Riquelmy. From the beginning to the end, the middle, up, down, left, right.
Say that one more time.
One more time.
One more time.
That those individuals that either have made or attempt to in the future understand that before boxing is us, we will always be us. The family will always be the family. And that is what's guaranteeing us to get to where we're going to go when the time comes for those multiple belts. And we're going to be on top of the world with those that believe in us, my family, and those that I believe in this young man right here, Isaiah Icon Riquelmy. So once again, thank you, Danny, and Boxing PlayHouse for allowing me to express that point at the end.
Thank y'all.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Yes, and Danny, thanks for sharing that story. He's absolutely
thanks.
right. There are not a
Appreciate
lot of
that.
retired boxers that want to talk about the times that they didn't get that W and what they learned from that experience. So thank you so much for sharing that with the next generation. I mean, that's like real love right there.
Appreciate that.
For real.
All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. Good luck to Team Riquelmy this weekend. I'm looking forward to announcing that W, baby. All right, so next week we're going to have Wednesdays Latin America with Danny Santiago. And then Thursday, I don't know, who we supposed to have Thursday? Oh, we're going to have some people from Fire Fist because they have a card coming up on the 29th. And we're going to see what's going on down at their gym with Coach Jim McLaughlin. Yes.
He's actually in town right now.
Yeah, he's in town right now. They went out of their way and made sure that we got our pictures and talked to us for a while with Yamaguchi. He will be fighting David Morrell Jr. as the co-main event under the Davis Garcia card. So this is actually a sleeper type fight that people are not actually really talking a lot about, that I feel is going to be way better than, and competitive than people think. All right, so next week, guys.
Yes, sir.
Love you guys.
Thank you, guys. Love you guys.
Great job.
Okay, Auntie, behave yourself.
All right, Auntie.
All right, Auntie, behave yourself this weekend at the fight night, okay? Bye, guys.
I'm very surgical, physical when I'm lyrical. So bat it down with medical, something critical. It's gonna take a miracle. Bright lights, but the spiritual written down like biblical. I finally reached the pinnacle. Yeah. Welcome to the house, the one they talking about. Word of mouth, the boxing play.